when we talk about people of color, a lot of times we fall into this low income status or bracket. If people of color try to trace back through their ancestors to see what their ancestors were doing so that now they can understand that plant-based veganism isn't this new millennial only made for privileged people, that's so far from the truth. If you're talking about finances, then we have to start to focus on eating more plants and vegetables. If you don't have any money and you're spending $6 a day on a chicken, 5 days out of the week, that's $30. Well, I can do kale wraps, and the kale actually costs way less. The nutritional benefits are just as good, if not better. But now that kale will seed, so I can grow more kale and spend less money. But most of us don't realize that. And then we can't figure out why we can't save any money. So for me, if we're not thinking about eating more vegetables, then we're not thinking about becoming sustainable through finances. This is Chef Zu from King's Apron, and I am a holistic nutritionist and a plant-based chef. For me as a plant-based chef, how I would consider myself would be a real chef for real people trying to build real community. So my whole thing is trying to push plants onto people, so I need to use as many vegetables as possible in the process, as many fruits as possible, as many nuts, grains, seeds, and berries as possible, and try to stay away from as much tofu as possible, because it's just like how people perceive things. If they see this white block, how well will that put this impression in your mind to eat more plants? I don't think it does at all. So we don't want to get things confused and crossed. We want to be as clear as possible about what we're doing, that it's plant-based and it's locally sourced. During the process of production, aggregation, and distribution, what if we say 100 people touch that food? Because for me, it's also about vibration. All living things vibrate and are able to communicate. So I looked at it like this. If 100 people were to touch the food, then that's 100 other vibrations that touch that food. Well, the guy that harvested the lettuce might have good intentions with the food, but what if he's just not like the best person in life, right? And now you're touching my food? I don't want that vibration on my food. So this is the benefit to pulling from your local food source, because now you can trace the methods and techniques that were used in the growing process, which would help my community obtain sustainable, optimal health. Our King's Apron offers a wide variety of classes. Our classes try to encompass the whole food system. If you're hitting just this one point of just eat this way, it doesn't move a person enough. This cooking class idea and concept, because it runs through the 5 facets of the food system, it literally ties a person into understanding each component, and that it is a system, just like your car. To talk about eating all day long, that's like an engine in a car. Well, that's nice, but without the starter, which maybe would be the production, and without the carburetor, which maybe would be the aggregation, like you need all of these pieces to properly operate and be able to move and travel. It's not about just being healthy for a week or for a month. It's being able to sustain your health so that now you can pass those techniques on to your offspring, your family, your community, and we can all find health in that same process. The studies show that the stomach or the gut is the second brain. So what does that mean? For me, what that means is whatever I'm putting into my mouth, which is going to later come down to my gut, it's going to affect how I feel, how I think, and what I'm able to do. So let's just say you say, I'm so tired of police brutality. This stuff is just getting on my nerves. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start to organize in my community. Well, if you don't eat well, I guarantee you that your health will offset your efforts in trying to organize your community against whatever issue it is. You have to be healthy to be able to do the work that you want to do. And basically, what you put in your mouth is going to end up in your stomach, and what doesn't digest properly in your stomach is going to affect your thoughts.